Hello guys, it's the 25th of Feb 2016 and this is a Anxiety United video update. So I wanted to briefly talk about where I'm at right now, where I've been recently and where I'm heading. But I thought it'd also be nice, an opportunity for you guys to share with me where you're at. You know, what have you got in place? What's your thoughts? How can you improve your current situation? It'd be nice if you could comment, share with me, you know, your thoughts so far on 2016, where you're at now, and what you're going to do to better things, because nobody that watches this is going to have a perfect scenario. So for me, during the course of the last month, since the last video, things have been up and down. At the moment, I would say they're probably up, but they have been real fucking bad. Sorry for swearing. But about 3 weeks ago, something like that, you may have seen on Twitter, I split with my wife, and it was only for 4 days that I split. But it was 4 days that really seem to have had a massive impact on the way that I feel right now, which is to be expected, but maybe not the negative way in which people may automatically assume. So quickly to run through, I moved out on a Tuesday. I took up for a drink on Wednesday. No, I didn't. I moved out on Tuesday, packed a bag, went to my dad's, and all I could think about for the next, I don't know, 12, 24 hours was, shit, I've now got to do life on my own. That is pretty much the crux of this whole thing, is that I came to the realisation that I've now got to go and buy my own cigarettes. I've got to now go and refuel my own vehicle, collect my son from school, go to the shop when I need something, cook my own meals, you know what I mean? It was that kind of realisation. Shit, life is in my hands now. I haven't got somebody to go and do all that shit for me. And it made me feel like maybe I had taken my wife for granted. You know, I'd become lazy. I'd become, I won't say comfortable, because I wasn't comfortable in the life that I've been living for the last 12 months. It's been horrible. I've not done really fuck all to improve my situation. And that's the realisation that I got. And on the Tuesday night, the day that I'd moved out, you know, I was feeling physically crap, stress. My blood pressure must have been through the roof. My heart rate, I could constantly feel it pounding. I felt weak, jelly legs, fatigue. It wasn't good. It wasn't nice. But because I knew the situation that I was in, it was kind of like, that's the reason for me feeling this way. So I had an excuse for the way that I felt physically. And I was able to go out. I went to the shop on my own. I did what I needed to do on my own. It was kind of like that realisation, shit, you've got to do it. You have to do it, otherwise you're going to go without. You're not going to do anything. You're just going to sit, and all those thoughts that you've had that you can't fucking better yourself, you can't get out there and do it, they're going to become reality, because I'm going to do nothing. So it was almost like a kick up the arse that I needed, pretty much. To cut a long story short, I did come back home, which is where I'm at now, on the Friday. So I was away for like 3-4 days, and we smoothed things over, and we managed to sort of identify the reason for the last however long it's been. Briefly, we kind of think that last April, my wife's grandma passed away, and I have spoke about it on videos before, and it really smashed her world to pieces. She never expected it to happen. She never wanted to think that it would ever happen, but it happened, and it destroyed her. But at the same time that it destroyed her, it sort of took her away from being my safe person, my rock, because I could see that she was in pain, even for this long. It just sort of made me feel like I was proper on my own, and I went into myself and just did nothing. I did nothing to try and solve the situation, nothing to try and improve it. So in in the way that it made her feel bad, I actually kind of self-destructed as well. And that's kind of where we got to the point where I was doing nothing whatsoever, struggling to get into the car, struggling to do anything. So during that 4 days that we were apart, it was kind of like, now I have to do something. I have to do it because she's not there. And I did it. And I did things that I haven't done on my own for a long time, even as trivial as like filling the car up with petrol, going into the garage and paying for it. Little things like that that I just stopped doing. And I didn't stop it because I'd had a bad experience doing it. I just stopped because I didn't feel like I would be able to do it. But when I had to do it, I did it. And it was okay. And it weren't too bad. And it gave me confidence. And on the Thursday that we were apart, this really sticks out in my mind. I'd been asked to take my son to the doctors. Now, I've been asked many times, many times over the years to take him to the doctors, and I've always said no, because I just can't face waiting rooms and then going in to see the doctor and, you know, the worst part, which is exiting. And basically what happened, I took him, and on the way to the doctors I was trying to talk him into going in on his own. Not directly, I weren't saying, you know, how do you feel about it? I was just trying to make him feel like he should go in. It was almost like I don't know, I feel guilty for the fact that I was even trying, because he wanted me there. But I did. We went into the waiting room, sat there for 10 minutes, and I weren't too bad. And then we went into the doctor's room, and it was getting worse. I was getting worse, and I was trying to focus on what, you know, my son was talking about to the doctor. But he is 16, so he was kind of able to articulate the points, communicate with the doctor, and get what he needed to do sorted. But this whole time that we were in there, I was thinking about this one thing, the thing that I'd been thinking about since I knew that I had to take him, and that was getting out of there. Because for me, that's the mental picture that I have. When I learn that I have to do something, go somewhere, or an appointment, or whatever it is, it's always the exit that freaks me out. So I was just picturing in my head that whenever it is that we come out of there, whether it's me running out of the doctor's room because I'm having a full-blown panic, or whether it's me running out of the waiting room, or whether it's just the end of the appointment and we've got to get out of there, that long walk from doctor's surgery room to the exit of the doctor's, that was always going to be the worst part for me. So it was like I couldn't escape that until we had to exit the place. And sure as hell, as soon as we finished the appointment and started walking out of there, my legs just went to complete fucking jelly. And I was so conscious of the fact that it was going to happen. I know that I brought it on myself. I know, guaranteed 100%. Because when we came out of the doctor's room, it was within like 5 friggin' footsteps of walking back. It just happened. And we got probably about 15 feet from the exit. And usually at this point, I'm going to die, I'm going to collapse, I'm going to embarrass myself, everybody's going to be looking at me, I'm going to have to run or cry, scream, fucking, I don't know. But I got to that point and I just flicked this switch in my head and it just said, just fucking breathe, slow down, stop, breathe, you're going to be fine. And I did. In that instant, that moment, that split second, I just slowed down, I took a breath, I slowed down, stopped forcing my steps to try and run, because I felt like I was stumbling. It was horrible. Within that split second, I managed to calm myself down and got to the exit calm. And that was a real massive growth spurt in my head. Was like, shit, I've never ever done that before. Because usually that peace, that calm and relaxation would come when I reach the exit, which is silly because it's no different from being inside the door. And that was sort of within that split second judgment, I managed to convince myself to just, whoa, easy. And it worked. So we came outside and my son assumed that he would have to go to the chemist on his own because he'd just witnessed me jelly legs wobbling out of the doctor's, but he didn't realise that I'd actually managed to just, whoa, slow it down. He hadn't noticed that. When we got outside, I said to him, come on, let's go to the chemist, because I feel fucking good. I feel amazing now. Now that I've just had that realisation, that moment, the inspiration, it really, really lifted me, and I felt confident enough to go and do anything at that moment. And that's what it's all about. It's that passing through that moment, and that was it. That was the fucking eureka. That was the wake up. And it happened in the situation, not when I got out of it. It happened in it, where I just realised, whoa, stop, slow down. This is not going to hurt you. And I managed to do it, and it was really, really cool. And that was where we were at. And then Friday morning, went back home to my wife. We ironed things out. Everything was cool. And since that moment, every day the next week, I did something. Whether it was just going to the shop on my own, or whether it was going to a larger store, walking round, or whatever it was, walking the dog, just anything. No matter how big or small, I just did something every single day. It really, really helped. Now, yesterday, we decided to go for lunch. Well, we'd already arranged it. Last week, we said we're going to go for lunch on Wednesday. And yesterday was Wednesday. And I woke up yesterday about 9:30, feeling iffy, anticipation. I hadn't really been thinking about it, but it was in that moment. It was this day that it was happening. I started having the negative thoughts. Where are we going to go? How long is it going to take? What am I going to eat? Am I going to feel uncomfortable? How far away from the exit am I going to be? And that all those stupid, horrible thoughts that we have. So we went somewhere local. We got to the car park. It was pretty much empty. There was 3 cars, including ours. We noticed that they were doing like this OAP special thing, lunchtime menu, so assuming there was going to be a fair few oldies in there. So we went in. After a couple of minutes sitting in the car just deliberating, are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? How am I going to do this? And then my wife wasn't helping the situation as much as she tries to, but she was saying, come on, let's just go home. It doesn't matter, let's just go home. And I was like, no. We are going to do this, or we're going to attempt it, even if we have to just go in for a drink. That was where I was at. So we did. We went in, ordered a drink from the bar, went and sat down, and it was empty in the section that we were in. Sat down, had the drink, and we were talking. It was like, are we going to order food? And the waitress came over. Are you ready to order? And I was like, no, give us a couple of minutes. And then we were sitting there, and I said to my wife, like, the problem that I've got, and whether anybody else knows this, feels this, or has experienced it, is the fact that when we order, I feel like I have to stay here then. So if we place the order, I can't just run out because I've got to wait for my food. And that was the sort of thing that was going through my head. It was like, I'm scared to order now, because then I know that I've got to sit and hold, and I've got to wait. But the waitress came back a couple of minutes after, and it was like, I was ready. At that moment, it was like, it was a good job she came back then, because I was on a positive wave, though they're only short. Like, that's how I feel. I've said it before on many videos that I get like these waves. I'll have a wave where I feel positive, I can do it, and then I'll go under the wave and it's like, shit, I need to get out, I can't breathe, it's hot in here, shit. We ordered, and the food didn't take long. It took about 10 minutes, and during that 10 minutes I was absolutely fine. I think it was the anticipation once again. I'd placed my order, and it was like, okay, well, you've done it now. So you're going to stay, you're going to sit, and you're going to wait, and you're going to eat. And we did. And the food came, and we ate, and I felt a bit uncomfortable, which I 99% of the time do. When I'm eating out, I will feel uncomfortable. I get full really quick, whether it's because I don't know, sitting uncomfortably or whatever it is. I get full quickly. I also notice that I start to feel, I don't know, weird. Whether, I don't know what the physical changes are in the body when you're eating, whether your blood pressure goes up or, I don't know. I just didn't feel comfortable during like the last couple of minutes of eating, and then I reached a point where it was like, shit, I'm gonna stop eating now because I'm feeling more uncomfortable and I don't like it. I don't want to. In fact, one of the stupid crazy thoughts that went through my head was that I may have been spiked. Now this was fucking 12 o'clock yesterday afternoon in a quiet pub filled with old people, but I got it into my head that maybe I've been spiked, and that's why I'm feeling a bit spacey right now, which I know is crap. But that's just the kind of irrational, crazy thoughts that go through our heads, my head. I don't know whether you've ever thought silly things like that, but it's irrational. But what I wanted to do, once we'd finished the meal, I didn't want to just get up and run out of there. I wanted to just sit. And we did. We finished, we put all the plates to one side, and we just sat, and we had a tea and a coffee, and we sat for like 10-15 minutes, and I wanted to stay there until all my negative thoughts and all those irrational thoughts had just subsided. And that was the key for me. It was like, if we can hold out, if I can exit on my terms and not exit because I feel like I'm going to collapse, or I feel that my head's going to explode, spin off my shoulders, and I'm going to be a puddle of blur on the floor. I didn't want it to be that, and it weren't. We sat, we cool, we chilled, we had drinks. It was nice, and when we were ready to leave, we left, and that was a big, big bonus. But when I got home, I just thought to myself, there's positives on one hand, but there's this little nagging negative. And I'm sorry that this has gone on for nearly 17 minutes now, me just talking. But I guess that's the idea. It's an update, it's a video blog. But on one hand, being my left, hello, I've got this positive thought, this positive energy, and this confidence that's built because, yeah, we've been out for dinner, and we haven't been able to go and do that for fucking many, many months, but we've done it. We ate, it was fun, it was cool, it was nice, the food was alright, but this is not a review on the place that we went. Good, positive, we can do it again. But on this hand, it's just like, why is it a thumbs up? I don't know, because it's bad. But it's like, yes, but on this hand, it's the realisation and this nagging little voice that keeps saying, that's just confirmation that you are not well, you are not right. And that's the problem that I feel that I'm faced with. It's like, yes, we did it, but here's like, yeah, we did it, but it weren't fucking great, was it? You felt like shit, and you had to battle for an hour and a half, 2 hours that you were in there. And it's just that realisation that, yeah, you're not right. So what I really need to do is focus on this side, and it's like, yes, we did it. We did it. We're cool. We can do it again. And even if it feels like that, it's fine. Even if it feels worse, it's fine. It doesn't matter how you feel. Just go and do it, because those feelings will subside. And that's where I'm at right now. It's now Thursday, the 25th, like I said. I suppose I do feel more confident. I woke up this morning and I felt really tired. But I don't really care. I don't care. I'm prepared, and I have been for a good few weeks now. It's like, I don't really care how I feel at the moment. I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do anyway. Whether I need to go out to the shop, whether I need to go collect my daughter, walk the dog, whatever it is, I don't really care or focus on how I feel. I just go and do it anyway. And 9 times out of 10, I'll feel a lot better physically when I get back. Because I think a lot of the physical feelings that we have may be tension. You know, a lot of it, especially for me anyway, it's a lot to do with tension and the fact that I'm focusing on it a lot of the time. So if you go out and do something, and one thing that I really noticed, I will end on this point because we're at 20 minutes and I'm really talking crap now, is the fact that when I went out and I was doing these things, going to a pub for dinner, walking around big shops that I haven't been in for fucking months on end, going in shops on my own, putting fuel in, doing these things, walking the dog, going to the park with my kids, taking them there for an hour and just sitting watching them play. The thing that really kept me, whether it was motivated or what, I don't know, but it made me happy, it made me smile, and it gave me a real nice feeling inside, was that I haven't seen these things for fucking months on end, because all I've really seen is the 4 walls that I'm surrounded by at home. And that was a real massive thing for me. It was like, look at all these things that I'm missing out on. New things in shops, new shops that have gone up, been built, whatever. Watching the kids do things outside of house, outside of home, that are fun. They're enjoying themselves. Going into a pub that I haven't been into. All these positive things, it was just nice to see different sights, and that's what's kind of keeping me going now. It's like input. Give me some fresh input. My head needs to see new things. That's where I'm at. That's my plan, is to just continue on this path. It's like never say no. Never say no to something. If I'm asked to do something, I'll do it, and we'll see how it goes, because it doesn't really matter how I feel. As long as I'm there doing it, I know I will survive.